As always, we want to first give honor to the Most High God, the great God that keepeth covenants and mercies to them that love him and observe his commandments. And then to his Son, who is our King, our Prince, our Savior, our Apostle, our High Priest, our Master Healer, our Master Teacher, but ultimately whom the Father used to reconcile us back to himself. He did that through the death of his Son, right? So we thank God for his Son. And then everybody that's with us, brothers, elders, mothers, brothers, sisters, children, those are going to be joining us online through YouTube. As the scripture states, all the partakers of the heavenly calling, we thank God for each and every one. All right. All right. Do we have any questions? Dive into our chapter. Any questions? Any questions? YouTube, scripture states. All right. If not, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 4. So always, if you have something, you can, of course, bring it out. Have something, you can, of course, bring it out. So last week, okay, we was talking about where are they going? Okay. So now we're getting close to like being in the land and some of the things going to be happening. So this is a good chapter. Pretty long, but it's a good chapter. All right, Brother Kai, we're going to get started. Deuteronomy chapter 4, and we're going to start from verse 1. Give us two verses at the right now. Let's do two verses, but we might start picking it up to 3 and how we move along.
Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments, which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land, which Yahweh God of your fathers giveth you. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Yahweh your God, which I command you.
Very important. Hearken, O Israel. All right, because we're the ones going in there. But we know that what? There's other people with us. So those that join with us will have to do the same thing. They will have to listen. All right. Unto what? Listen to the statutes and the judgments, which I teach you. This is very important because everybody wanted where, oh, we got the Spirit is going to talk to me directly and all this stuff. Every time I have something on my mind, I got a question, I'm going to go to the Spirit and they just get. That's not how it works, beloved. All right. For some, the Spirit does deal with us. However, the Spirit teaches you through the what? Statutes and judgment. A lot of things, the Spirit's gonna be like, listen, if you asking a lot of these, same questions, they're gonna be like, listen, why don't you read? All right? I keep giving you something. Read, get a foundation. Because the statute and judgment also can teach you if it's the right spirit you're yielding yourself to. Just because it's a spirit doesn't mean it's good. All right. So when you go to the judgments and the statutes, if the spirit is making you go against it, then I can identify this ain't the right spirit. Okay. But he says, so which I teach you for to do them. It's not just to listen to them. Okay. Read it, but to actually do them that ye may live. When we look at that word that ye may live, they already live it. Okay. Some people look at it as a futuristic everlasting, but no, there's another part in there. When we talk about live, okay, a lot of us, we're breathing and all those kind of things, we're living. However, when he talking about that ye may live, it's talking about that peace that comes with it. All right. That flourishing. All right. All those kind of things is what he's dealing with. Because when we're doing these laws and commandments correctly, we will have a different quality of life than what we are experiencing now. Okay? You see, definitely in this culture, this sickness. Okay, besides, I ain't even talking about the spiritual sickness, right? We dealing with all these medical things. Okay, you see what they're injecting stuff, dealing with stuff with our food, our water. It's nowhere we can basically go where they just not tamper with it and messing it up. Okay, but we was going to this. We will actually have life. We will have that abundance. Okay, how it was intended for us to have, so that ye may live and go and possess the land which Yahweh your God, your fathers, giveth you. Okay. Verse 2, listen to this. Ye shall not, and there's something similar to this in Revelation. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish off from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Yahweh your God, which I command you. So don't add. Okay, so the first part is don't add to what I told you, but also don't take away. That's the diminishing part. Don't diminish off from it. Okay, and these are one of the things where now a lot of places it's issues now because we constantly got people adding to it. We constantly got people what taken away. Okay, and this is where you understand it's a faith and a belief thing. We believe if we got to add to it, it wasn't what perfect. We believe we can add to certain things that the Most High might have left out. Or also on the flip side, we will diminish things that we deem is maybe not that important. So we're saying, you know what, God, I know you have this, but I don't feel that this part is this. Someone will take this part out. We have to be very, very mindful of it. Keep it how it is. The Most High, he said, his ways is not our ways, his thoughts is not our thoughts. And a lot of times we start to what? Lean to our own understanding. When you lean to your own understanding, you will start what? Adding or diminishing. Guaranteed. You're always adding or diminishing when you lean to your own understanding. Our job is just to trust and to do his word. He never telling us, I want you to think about it. Is this right? He don't tell us to do that. That's not our pay grade. All right. Or if we trust that he knows what's best for us, then we should obey. All right. Even if we don't fully understand why he's telling us to do it this way, we should obey because we trust him. Okay. So another point. Oh, one more point. Yeah. The point is, like I said, we just don't want to add or take away. Okay. We do try to look at the scripture, trying to analyze certain things just for understanding purposes. And there's things where the Most High does share some of the insight of why he's doing it. And there's some things that what he will hold out. And we have to be fine with it. We have to trust him with it. But when we start tampering with certain things, this is very important. We know, and we keep talking about this. This word is spirit. We do not know about the spiritual world like we might think we know. We don't know about it. We trust the world that what we can see with these eyes. But there is a spiritual world. There are other things here with us. All right, not the scary thing, right? There's spirits around, right? Some of these things that he's giving us, do you ever think it might be protecting us from these bad spirits? From some of these spirits that can overcome us from being disobedient. Don't you ever think that? Think about what he says. When you obey, I'm gonna get this, this, this. But when you don't obey, now you'll get all these curses. This is what he's telling us. So these commands, we're looking at it like, wow, if I do this, this can prevent this kind of spirit from getting on me, right? This is what he is doing in this book. He's giving us natural things, but these natural things have spiritual ramifications. This is why I get a little, people say, oh, it's just the book or this, that, is the spirit. Like, you don't understand what he's giving us because these are doing those spirits that you think you just gonna, well, how the movies have it, they put some cross, they got some holy water that they got out of the toilet, and you gonna throw it and this is gonna stop these evil spirits being on you. No, beloved. Do not let the TV fool you. All right? You're gonna have to have power. And that power that we get is through obedience. Okay? It don't matter. Even you say the name. You can say name all you. There's a lot of people saying name. Whether it's Jesus, whether Yahweh, whether all the different forms that we have out there. It's the spirit of obedience that's going to keep these things from overtaking you. Nothing else. Okay? All right. Anybody got anything to add to that? Verse 1 and 2. All right. We have nothing else. Let's keep going.
Your eyes have seen what Yahweh did because of Baal Peor. For all the men that follow Baal Peor, Yahweh thy God have destroyed them from among you. But ye that did cleave unto Yahweh your God are alive, every one of you this day.
All right. And that's just straightforward. Love it. All right. You've seen what he did to them. We've seen, well, now we can say we see what he did to us for our disobedience, but they seen witness what God did to them, how he destroyed them. All right. We've seen God deal with those that are intending to hurt us, destroy us. Okay. We know what the rewards of cleaving to God is, trusting in God. And we know the rewards of what? Doing what we want to do, leaning to our own understanding. A lot of times the Most High allowed those things to happen. So what? You will appreciate it. Because a lot of us didn't take it, the right way. We took it for granted, some of the things that the Most High was giving us. So he said, you want to really experience how it is without me. Excuse me, beloved. You really want to have that experience? Okay, let me take that shield from around you. Let me take that hedge from around you. The scriptures talk about this. And then, man, let's get chaotic. Now this happening. He starts smacking your finances. The relationship that you thought was solid, he started tampering with all that stuff, start to unravel. Letting you know that it was him that was keeping you. Right? You thought because you got that job now, you were good. You're safe. And what? You forgot about him. And he'll show you. And all that stuff that you believe you received. And we start to think it was us. We think that we got the job. We think that we did this, this, and this. And he will show you, is this his favor? Okay? So once again, we want to keep the Most High first. We want to cleave to him. Cleave to the Lord. All right? And what do you say? Every one of you. Ye that cleave to me, he said, every one of you alive this day. Beloved, there are some people that didn't make it today. Some of them wish they had the same opportunity as us to cleave one more moment, one more time. And we don't sometimes thank the Most High for that. We drive, some of us driving every day. There's a lot of people that didn't make it. Not one or two, you think one or two people died per day in car accident? Look it up. A lot of people. So many different ways to die, beloved. So many ways to die. And guess what? God kept us. And he's keeping us from all these ways of dying each and every day. And sometimes what? He don't give us the heads up. He don't even show us sometimes how he's sparing us and saving us. But we should know and trust that he is, because we are doing what he has commanded us to do. All right. Anybody got anything? All right. Let's keep going.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
We're going to read that again, that verse 6 again, but let's look at that 5. I have taught you statutes and judgments. Everybody said it's Moses. He said what? Even as Yahweh my God commanded me. So did Moses command these things? Was he the authority? No, the Most High was the authority. All right. That ye should do so in the land, whether ye go to possess it. This is another thing that get thrown out there. Oh, you do those commandments. Oh, that was for the land. So we only do these commandments when we're in the land. So now we don't have to do it now. We can kill, still do all these things because we're not in the land, right? This is intended for the land, right? No, beloved, right? We're gonna do these things wherever we may be found, okay? But you'll hear those kind of arguments. But they were literally what? The whole time they're saying, we're taking to the land. I'm teaching you these things, right? Not that you applied it just there, you're applying it now. But you're going to what? The land. So you're going to be doing it with the land you possess it. Basically, that don't forget about it. You're going to do it when you get there. Okay? Because he was teaching us how to live righteous there because he told us if we don't do what's right, he'll kick us out just like he kicked the last tenants that was before us. So I'm going to teach you these things so when you're in there, you can what? Dwell in there and live. Okay? You can live in safety and peace in the land. That's what that's what it was intended for. Mhm. Let's read that verse 6 one more time. Listen to this, beloved.
Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. We shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Keep, 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 and do them. It ain't just the talking, you need to walk it. All right? So speak ye and so do. A lot of times we're not doing both of it. Okay? So we're going to keep it and do them. This, just by doing these commandments, statutes, law, judgments, it should what? This is your wisdom. The Most High, we talk about the wisdom. We talk about the wisdom of the scriptures, not the wisdom of this, and we're not taking no, it's nothing wrong with having certain expertise in things, beloved. All right. Whether that's in the stars or it's in agriculture, if it's in animals, all those things are good, important, and those things even derive from scripture. But knowing the scriptures, knowing these commandments, that's our wisdom. This is the wisdom that the Most High wants to instill in us. Why is it very important? Because a lot of other wisdom is good, it's good head knowledge, but this one has power connected to it. This has authorities connected to it. Okay, these are the spiritual weapons, right, that we got to deal with in this world. That's where we get the protection from the knowledge of it through the scriptures. So this is our wisdom. This is our understanding. Where? In the sight of just Israel? No. In the sight of the nations. This is what Christ talking about. Let your light so shine that men see you. This ain't just for one another. It includes us, of course. But he's talking about we supposed to all have this understanding and wisdom because that was the whole plan, beloved. That's that Exodus 19. Being that peculiar people, being that what? That leader, that light, that the other nations will look upon us and they will what? They will ask certain things. But let's stay here first. Nations which shall hear all these statutes. How are they going to hear these statutes? Some of my brothers, this is one of the scriptures where it's like, have we been reading it? Beloved, who did the word go to? Who did the word, these laws, commandments, and judgment, who did they go through in the world? What we during this time? Who had these?
Israel.
Israel. No argument, no debate there. Israel's the only one that had them. Okay? Perfectly fine. However, we have to read and see the progressive state that the Most High was doing. Yes, we had them. So which shall hear all these statutes? If we the only ones that have it, how would the other nations be able to hear it? You can hear something, what? If somebody didn't what? Say it. So we got the knowledge, so they will have to be around us and hear the knowledge. But you can't do that. Well, you from the nation, so I ain't saying that to you. No, they will get it from us. That was our inheritance, to have the knowledge of God, and that the others will come to us for knowledge of our God. But let's look at it. Let's see Brother Mike making this up. Understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, this is the other part, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. You see what the Most High had in place for us? Not this nation. Man, they're good at this. They're good at basketball. They're good at football. They're good at all, right? And we are, right? But also, what? What's the thing that the Most High instilled in us? That we, a great nation, and they will look at him like, man, y'all wise and understanding people. Man, y'all got some knowledge that's not out here. Y'all know about the workings of man, right? And the workings of the spirit, all these kind of things. People go, wow, that's crazy. Okay, that is our inheritance. This is what the Most High has given to us, not just the teachers, not just the lead. This is to what nation? We all learning this knowledge and understanding, and others are gonna look at it like, wow, that's order. That's what Queen Sheba said to Solomon. Wow, they put it as now she was like some young hot little thing that just wanted go and sleep with a powerful man. No, that sister was a wise sister, and she what heard about the wisdom of Solomon, heard about his God, and she came to ask questions about his God. And when she left, she said the half has not been told. She wasn't worried about the kingdom and riches. She had money. Broke people worry about those kind of things, right? She has that. It was the wisdom, and she said, surely, for your servants got to be happy. Just how I see the structure and the order that you go in that spiritual movement, and what we know is of God. And see, the other nations can appreciate that. Sometimes we don't appreciate those things. Okay. Let's keep going, though, Brother Kai. Let's keep going because it ain't over.
What nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them as Yahweh our God is in all things that we call upon him for?
Mm-hmm.
Or what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I have set before you this day?
One more.
Only take heed, therefore, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons.
All right. Son. For what is great, for what nation is so great? Why is this nation so great? Right? The prophecy of the Most High said he was doing to us. We were going to be a peculiar people. Even the nations will understand it if we were doing what we are supposed to do. What nation is so great and have God so nigh unto them? As Yahweh God is in all things that we call upon him for. They're gonna be like, man, this nation is great, man. They call upon their God. Their God does things for them. And we should witness this because what? Literally, they got out of Egypt and wait up, y'all got out of Egypt and nobody died? Wait up, y'all got out of Egypt without an army, right? Nobody died, and they lost their power of their army. Remember, they with their chariots and their choice men. Y'all crippled Egypt. How did y'all do this? Well, we have this one. Y'all dealing with this one God. He did all that, and y'all went through the wilderness, and He's taking care of y'all, bringing water out of this and bringing quail. Your God doing all that. How do y'all get God to deal with y'all so intimately? We don't. Our gods, we don't get that kind of dealing. But y'all actually have a living God. Y'all actually have a God that actually does these things and perform things for y'all. How? This is why he was doing these things. So I tell you, it was never just a small thing. That's a small piece with Israel that we're failing to realize. The Most High is a bigger master plan than that. He was putting that shine, that spotlight on us that others nations can envy and look and desire that thing that we have. Desire the God that we have. That was the plan. Okay? But he showed little pieces of it and give little breadcrumbs here and there. But if you put this thing together in perspective, you can see the master plan. Okay. And what nation so great and have statutes and judgments so righteous is all this law? Okay, so they look at that and love it. But I said before you this day, take heed, listen to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently. This is important because a lot of times this is the issue. Lest thou forget the things which thy eyes have seen, and lest they depart from the heart all the days of thy life. The Most High, I tell y'all, the miracles is trying to get your attention, things of that nature. These are things you need to keep in mind. Because a lot of us might, if I ask you right now, a lot of us can probably contest, you know what? I believe God's real. I seen him do this, or he did this for me, or something like that, right? Some kind of testimony towards it. If we don't keep those things in our mind, if we let them slip away, okay, a lot of times it's easy to what? To get overtaken and to leave the faith. All right? Leave the belief of God because we didn't keep them in our forefront. Okay? Cannot forget the things that God did to you or did for you. It gets very easy for somebody to come slick talk you right out into darkness. So he tells you, keep these things in your mind. Understand the importance of these things in your mind. You can't afford not to have the Most High on your mind each and every day. It should be impossible. Listen, beloved, it should be impossible for you not to think about God every day. We hours. I don't care how much fun we might have today, that you can't think about God at all. That's a big issue, beloved. Okay, so make sure we always have something. But he says what? Not just the things you've seen, but he said, "Oh, teach them. Teach them to your sons and your sons." Why is he telling them to teach them to that? Because they need to keep it in their heart. They might not have seen it with their eyes, but they need to keep the workings of God in their mind and not let them slip, because that is how their faith is going to be what? Built up. Be solid. Okay? Through the rehearsing of it. Beloved, we're not all going to witness it, right? We come in different time frames. Everybody didn't witness Egypt. Some people was born after it. They didn't see those miracles. But guess what? Those people that witness it, they should be telling those miracles that, you can feel when somebody, definitely telling the truth about certain things. That should hit that generation. And you got to keep these things, right, rehearsed. That it always stays in your mind. How do we know this is a big failure? Because one of the big things, you ask them, the generation, they don't know about these things. Do you know about God delivering us out of Egypt? What he did, what he told us to do. And this is why he has these rehearsal things, these feast days, to what? Have something to stay in our mind, that it don't slip away. We do things, even the world understands that. When they got their holidays and stuff like that, why they do it? They do it every year. Why are they doing it annually? So you will not forget, because it's easy to what? Forget. Okay? So things they want us to stay in our mind, they're going to rehearse it every year. The Most High want us to remember him and his works. So he have us what? Rehearse these things every year. That's why it's important. That's why he was commanding these things. Least they slip away. And you'll see a lot of people lose out, and you'll see a lot of generations get upset with certain things they want to instill in their children. Okay? The older generation, they understand the importance of instilling these kind of things in the children. So, beloved, this is not a suggestion. We have to teach the children and the sons and the grandchildren, all this. We got to teach them. That's our job and responsibility. Okay? All right. Anybody got anything they want to add to that? All right, let's keep going.
Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, at least they depart from thy heart all of the days of thy life, to teach them thy sons or thy sons' sons, especially the day that thou stoodest before Yahweh thy God in Horeb, when Yahweh said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. And he came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire unto the midst of heaven, darkness of clouds, thick darkness.
Keep going. Read the next one.
And Yahweh spake unto you out of the midst of the fire, and you heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude, only ye heard a voice.
All right. Anybody know what they're referring to? What happened in Horeb? What is he talking about?
Gave him the commandments.
Right, is why we want to walk it down, keep it in there, because now certain things should be popping up and keep it in our mind. This is the kind of stuff that Paul will do, right? He'll say something. It's like you just gotta kind of you gotta remember what was said before. Okay, so this is talking about the commandments. He gave the people commandments. He told them what? Everybody gather, bring all Israel together, gather them together. You're gonna come to the mount. Okay. And then guess what? It was smoking and thunder and all those kind of things. So he's just repainting the picture. Okay. So he said, remember, keep these things that I'm giving to you specifically or especially the day that thou stood. Really remember what? Remember when I gave those commandments. Okay. This is not saying because people grab the see what you worry about the Ten Commandments. He already told you from the get-go. The statutes, commandments, all this stuff, you're gonna keep it and remember all of them. He's saying now you better especially get to this because if you forget the 10, you're probably gonna forget the rest, beloved. All right. So he said, especially if you remember that day. Why? It was an impressionable day. Why? Because he actually spoke, y'all actually heard him. Remember, everything else was coming through Moses. So y'all better remember the time he actually what? Shared some of his glory with you. Okay? He said what? How I came to y'all. All right, what was that? All right, 12. Yahweh spake unto you out of the midst of the fire. Ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude. Only ye heard a voice. What is he trying to show there? I made sure y'all did not see anything. Y'all only heard something. Okay? Y'all only heard something. Y'all did not see anything. Yes, it says the voice of the Lord. The voice of the Lord don't have to. I want y'all to just give you all this thing. When it says the voice of the Lord, when it's talking about a message, giving the message, it gets the same kind of authority. Okay, so it does not have to be our voice, the Father's voice, right? Because this is why Christ saying y'all ain't never heard his voice, y'all never seen his shape, anything like that. The messengers will do it. Okay, so some people, a lot of times the argument, I'm trying to think, usually they'll say it's either Christ or the angels. I think that's the only two things I heard from this. I mean, some people say the Father too, but I'm just saying those that know scripture say no, it definitely can't be the Father. They'll usually say it's Christ or they'll say it's the angels. Okay. So nonetheless, take it how you want to take it. But he said y'all saw it, but y'all didn't see anything. All right. It's an important reason why he didn't let us see anything. He's gonna deal with that, I believe, in this chapter. Yeah. Okay. So let's keep going. Anybody got any questions or comments, something they want to bring out? Okay. Let's keep going.
And Yahweh spake unto you out of the midst of the fire. You heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude, only you heard a voice. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments. And he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone.
Mhm.
And Yahweh commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that you may do them in the land whither you go over to possess it.
All right, so he declared unto you what? His covenant. This was part of a covenant. All right, Ten Commandments can be looked at as what? A covenant. Absolutely. All right, I told you multiple covenants that you see going on. All right, so the Ten Commandments can be referred to as a covenant. You do this, I'll do this. Right? Why it's very important. He also didn't, just in case some people are like, oh, we just have to worry about Ten Commandments. What do you say right after? Yahweh commanded me that at that time to teach you what? Also, statutes and judgments that you should just know them or that ye might do them. Okay. So he just didn't give us the 10, he gave us other ones as well. But they are also intertwined in the Ten Commandments. That's one of the things we need to learn. They're intertwined. Okay, just like he says, these two great laws. If you understand the two is a branch off. You branch off of that, it'll be, the 10. The branch off the 10, it'll kind of it'll encompass everything else. Okay, so just understand those things. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Verse 15.
Yeah.
15. All right.
Take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on the day that Yahweh spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire.
All right, let me stop there. Why do you think the Father didn't show himself? Anybody want to take a guess? Why do you think he's making a point that we didn't see anything? He keeps saying it. I don't know why he keeps saying it. You heard the voice, but you ain't see anything. Awesome, awesome. Well, if you don't know, let's listen up and hear it. The next one.
Lest ye corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth.
So if he says, if I would have showed y'all anything, y'all would have created something and y'all would have
Yep.
started worshiping it.
Mhm.
Then that's why he kept saying, I didn't give y'all no similitude. So anything you got that's trying to be in the form of the Most High God, your wicked imagination done did it. Because I ain't give you nothing. He already knows how we work, beloved. You know, sometimes parents, you like, yeah, I ain't even going to tip them with this because I know you're going to fail if I do this. Most High already knows. If I showed y'all anything, if I showed y'all even a theophany, fancy word, like some kind of image or something, right? He showed some image that it was like a wing. Somebody seen a wing. We would start making some kind of form thing with a wing on there and saying, you know what, this is God. How do we know something like this will happen? They literally did it. What did they make? Anybody remember? What did they make in the wilderness? What did they make in the wilderness? This is literally why he was bringing the Ten Commandments down, right? What did they make? Anybody remember? Yeah, either I'm stomping y'all today. Y'all just quiet. Y'all just quiet on me today. All right. They made the what? Golden calf, beloved. Remember the golden calf? They said, this be our God. This is the one that delivered us out of Egypt.
Yep.
They didn't get nothing. God ain't never show. Remember, he ain't say, I ain't show y'all no similitude. Somebody mind saying, you know what? Let's make a calf. And then this is what we're going to credit for doing this. And that was from nothing. So if God would have showed him anything, any kind of similitude. Listen, he's like, I didn't even bring male or female. I didn't even come in a form because I know y'all would have what made something out of it. How do we know that's true today, beloved? Well, you see what a lot of people wearing around their necks. They got the same, they got their Christ right on their neck in this image, right? Think
No,
about the Most High did it. So that's what
I
he is
do.
doing, and he took it away. All right.
Oh,
He took that thing away because
somebody.
he knows how we was going to do things. Okay. So he said, I give you no similitude. I give you nothing to try to make anything from it because human nature, beloved, we want to trust these eyes so much. And these eyes will limit us. All right. These eyes is limited to what I told you about before, the spirit. Okay. You have to tap the spiritual thing. There's a spirit thing in this. But beloved, what we see every day, this is our natural carnal eyes, fleshly eyes. It sees things of the flesh. But there's certain things that's spiritual. Okay. So he's like, nope, not showing you anything because I don't want you to create anything. All right, trying to save us from ourselves, beloved. But a lot of times, even though Most High does that, we're just so disobedient. We will still make an image and try to worship it. All right. But it was to not corrupt us. He did not want us to be corrupted. So he removed that kind of stuff. Okay. All right, Brother Kai, what verse do we leave off at?
19.
Okay.
At least thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the hosts of heaven shouldst be driven to worship them and serve them, which Yahweh thy God have divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. But Yahweh have taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day.
All right, so beloved, we see that. You can go through all the examples and you see people, there's gods made out of all these things. You look up to heaven, right? Because heaven is what? This that's looking at the sky, beloved. That's heaven. That's not where the Father's at, per se, we're seeing, right? He's still high, right? There's levels to this, as we say, okay? So there's a heaven where the birds and everything are at, okay? We have the planets and all those kind of things. That's considered heaven, okay? You look at the scriptures, that is considered a form of heaven. So when he look up, where he said in heaven, listen, and when thou seest the sun, so he's telling you the sun is placed what? In heaven. The sky, what we call the sky, is considered heaven. So the sun, the moon, we got people that worship the sun. We got people that worship the moon. Even we did this in the scriptures. Okay. People worshiping the stars, all the host of heaven, whether it's a planet, people worshiping the rain, the thunder, right? They attributed that to gods and stuff like that. So all these things he's telling us, we literally see people have done. Okay, let's keep going.
Come. Verse 20. Behold, I have taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance. Ye are this day. Furthermore, Yahweh was angry with me for your sakes, and sware that I should not go over Jordan, and that I should not go in unto the good land which Yahweh thy God giveth thee for an inheritance. But I must die in this land. I must not go over Jordan, but ye shall go over and possess that good land.
Moses let him know again. I missed out on that land. He's angry at me for that, for what happened. All right. Y'all done got me out this land. However, y'all gonna go over. I'm gonna die here. All right. I'm gonna die outside the land, but y'all gonna go and actually possess it. Let's keep going.
Take heed unto yourselves, lest ye forget the covenant of Yahweh your God, which he made with you, and make you a graven image, or the likeness of anything which Yahweh thy God hath forbidden thee. For Yahweh thy God is a consuming fire, even a jealous God.
You will see that. I think that might be in our Hebrew when we start doing our Hebrew. I think that he's a consuming fire. I think that's in there. All right, if memory serves me correct. All right. However, once again, take heed to yourselves, lest you forget the covenant. How do we know somebody forget the covenant? Because they'll do something contrary to it. He's saying, and right when you make that graven image or any likeness, anything, right? That's when you know you mess up the covenant. All right. So when you see certain things, beloved, even with the cross and all those kind of things, people are claiming that a lot of people believe that that's God the Father, right? That's God Almighty, right? If you believe that, listen, if you believe that that is God Almighty, all these things, right? What is he telling you right here? He told you don't make the graven image of that. So if you're admitting that and putting something there that's saying this is God, he's saying you surely forgot the covenant. You surely not walking in the spirit and doing things right because he's saying, you doing anything which the Lord thy God forbidden thee. He said, I forbid you from making a graven image. It don't matter what your intent is. This is what we got to understand, beloved. We think because we meant well that that's okay and that we're good in the spirit because we meant well. Okay, and even though they even have it saying, the way to hell is paved with good intentions. Everybody, because my intentions were good. But the most I tell you, your intentions are not good. You being willingly disobedient to something I say, there's no good intentions to it. All right, that's just one of our excuses and justifications to make us feel better in a state of disobedience, which is what? One of the tricks of Satan. Okay? Let's keep going, Brother Kai. Let's keep going.
Well, thou shalt beget children and children's children, and ye shall have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make a graven image, or the likeness of anything, and shall do evil in the sight of Yahweh thy God, to provoke him to anger. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that ye shall soon utterly perish from off the land whereunto ye go over Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed.
All right. Once again, I'm sounding like a broken record, so I don't want not too much like a broken record. All right. So, beloved, we do not want to get that last part. Do evil in the sight of Yahweh to provoke him to anger. Okay. We don't want to do these things. Disobedience is going to what? Provoke him to anger. And we know there's consequences to what? To disobedience. Right? There's consequence either way, beloved. No matter which way we live, we are making a choice. Okay, so we have to choose the things that's going to be pleasing in God's sight so we can get the blessings. If not, the curse shall reign upon us. All right, he said, I'm going to make the earth and the heaven be a witness against you. What does that mean? While it's standing here, all right, it can witness to you. As in the sense of, you see heaven, you see earth, this stuff is still intact. All right, so he said, yep, they're gonna be the witnesses. Yep, I said it here, blah, blah, blah. So as long as they're there, they can witness there. So you see how it's not going to expire. If he had Moses as the witness, right? When Moses died, it's almost like it don't exist. But he got something that's lasting forever that what can always be there to hold us accountable to what this covenant was doing. Let's keep going.
Yahweh shall scatter you among the nations. Ye shall be there few in number among the heathen, whither Yahweh shall lead you. And there ye shall serve gods, the works of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell.
One more.
But if from thence thou shalt seek Yahweh thy God, then thou shalt find him, if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
And I want you to know, beloved, hint, 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 he is putting, and when you see these covenants like Solomon, they will put something in there if we listen and paying attention. He says, and Yahweh shall scatter you. What does that mean, beloved? What does he say is going to happen? Y'all are going to not listen. Y'all are going to sin. He already knows we're going to do it. Okay? Because the only reason he's scattering is because what? If we go against his word, that's how he's going to destroy us. So we have caused it. It was never an enemy that did it. Our disobedience is what gets us scattered. All right. He just used a nation to do it. But it was not them. No nation can overcome us. Right? God's with us. Who can overcome us? But it's when God is not with us, that's when we get what? Exposed. So the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, which he what? Did. We're witnessing that and seeing that, and that happened multiple times. And ye shall be left few in number among the heathen. We got scattered. When you scatter, you lose that what? Power. Yes. Whether the Lord shall lead you. Okay, Gus, he said, I'm going to lead you. I'm causing this. I don't want you to get confused. I want you to know I'm scattering you so you know. Because once again, it's all about what? Him. He wants you to know. I don't want you second guessing thinking somebody else didn't know. Nobody take it out of my hand. I gave you, I did this to you. Because I told you and I promised this is what's going to happen. Verse 28. And there ye shall what? Serve gods. And what are we doing? We serving all kinds of gods. The works of man's hands, wood and stone. They're making all these gods for us to serve, which what? Can't see, hear, eat, or smell. These idols can't do anything. And this is what happened to us. This is part of the curse of not submitting to the word of God. However, he always put a little, little hope in there, right? But, okay, this can happen. But if from thence, but when you do get scattered, and remember, Solomon said the same thing, beloved. It's rehearsing something that's already been. When you get scattered, if you shall seek Yahweh your God and shall find him. So that means you can be out the land because he scattered you, but he also says what? I can what? Hear you. You can find me even outside the land you're at. If thou seek him, how? If thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul. This is how we find him, beloved. This has always been the way how you find him. When you seek him with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, you will find him. There's no doubt. You will find him. That's a guarantee. Just like you see the water, just like you grab it, just like you touch it. That's a guarantee. If you seek them with everything, you shall find them. If you don't find them, that means what? You weren't seeking them with everything you had. You might have sought them with the leftovers. You might have sought them with 80%, but you didn't seek them with everything. If you seek them, you shall find them. And this was what? Christ came with the same message. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. You see how they all saying the same thing? They just remixing some of the messengers for it. It's the same message. What will get us to believe this? Now listen to the next part. This is important as well. All right. So we seek with all our heart, soul, and mind. Verse 30, because everybody talk about tribulation. They talk about the bad times coming, all these kind of things. Listen. Verse 30, Brother Kai.
Well, thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days.
Mhm.
If thou turn to Yahweh thy God, and shall be obedient unto his voice. But Yahweh thy God is a merciful God. He will not forsake thee, nor destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers, which he sware unto them.
Because it wasn't just the promised land. I don't think that's the only covenant. That was the whole big thing. No, that was a huge thing here because they didn't have no land. That's one of them. But there's still other things. So he's saying, beloved, when the times of tribulation comes about, and he said, even in the latter days, and there's some tribulations that happen around these times and these, in the Bible, but there's some tribulations to come. He's saying, guess what? Those that turn to me and obey my voice, he said, guess what? I'm going to be merciful to them and I will not destroy them. Okay. This is why I say you got to do the same thing. You got to be obedient and don't change nothing. You got to be obedient. That recipe for success is not changing. That's how you're going to be spared no matter what kind of time come upon us, beloved. If you put your faith in God, he can be merciful. Okay. And this is why the mercy thing is so important, because even though you deserve, a lot of us deserve these things. He's saying it's not what you don't deserve, but my mercy. It's mercy. A lot of us deserve these things. But he said, even though you deserve it, I am merciful. I don't give you always what you deserve. If you seek me, I will give you mercy. This is why I say God is better to us than what we deserve. We talk about ain't fair. No, it ain't fair because we deserve so much worse. But our God is merciful. This is why I said we don't put no faith. This is what Paul talks about. Don't put no faith in the flesh of what you did. No, you deserve death. You deserve everything bad that happens to you. However, God is greater than what we deserve. God steps in because he loves us, has compassion for us. He steps in and says, I'm not giving them what they deserve because I love them. And that's it. That's argument right there. Why don't I get? Because he loves us. And some people are going to be upset. They deserve this, yeah. But I love them because they understood what they deserved. And they chose me. Or better yet, he chose us. Okay? So this is why sometimes even with our past, look, don't get all caught up in your past, all the things you did wrong. Trying to justify, nope. No matter how wicked, I repented and I went back to the Lord, begging, all right, begging and pleading, saying, Lord, I know you're merciful. I'm not trying to justify what I did. What I did was wrong. It's already there. I'm coming to you because you're merciful. And you can have love and compassion over the wrong that I have done. Not that I can continue now to do wrong some more. That's just foolish, beloved. All right? But that he can what? Forgive us for those things. And entreat us as someone that have not done these things. This is that fresh slate we can get, beloved, that's open to us. A lot of us just don't grab hold of it. Okay? All right. Brother Kyle, let's keep going. Let's keep going. What verse are we
As,
at?
verse 32, for ask now the days that are past, which were before thee, since the day that God created man upon the earth, and asked from the one side of heaven unto the other, whether there have been any such thing as this great thing is, or have been heard like it. Did every people hear the voice of God speaking out of the midst of the fire, and thou hast heard and lived?
Ask anybody in the world. Did they ever experience it? Nobody, no other nation experienced what y'all experienced. Okay, let's keep going.
Or have God essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation by temptations, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that Yahweh your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes?
This is where he talked about, I made my name known to you. It wasn't what we did. What he said, yeah, no, it's way bigger than that, beloved. He showed himself as a living force. All right. Everybody, these other nations accredit gods to the things they have. They accredit gods to them. But these gods do not work. They never did. They didn't do anything. They actually seen a God move. All right. They actually seen a God take out the light of the sun. They actually seen a God wipe out cattle, bring lice, bring fraud. They seen it turn word, but they seen it saying, we've never witnessed any kind of movement like this, any kind of thing. Remember, they don't know, they understand it's a God. They just like, we don't understand this God. This God of Israel actually does things. This ain't no magic trick. We actually seen these things. He's like, did anybody, as he talking to us, did you ever see this kind of thing be done to any other nation that I did to Egypt for you? Beloved, the answer simple, no. He always gave us the best, showed us the best. It's always been our fault and our issue for not staying focused. And once again, this is why he rehearsed it. Because we might think, you know what, God, I don't know if he really loves and deals with this. This is why we have those Passover and stuff like that. As a remembrance. No, don't forget what God did for you. Don't forget how he took us out. Nobody ever had that. Keeping it in our mind and in our spirit. Let's keep going, Brother Kai. Let's keep going.
Unto thee it was shewed that thou mightest know that Yahweh he is God. There is none else beside him.
Hmm.
Out of heaven he made thee to hear his voice, that he might instruct thee, and upon earth he shewed thee his great fire, and thou heardest his words out of the midst of the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And because he loved thy fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought thee in his sight with his mighty power out of Egypt.
All right, because he loved the Father. He chose us. All right, it wasn't even some of the stuff we did, beloved. He loved our forefathers, and that's why they're reaping the benefits. Remember, Abraham, Isaac, he gave the covenant to them because they what? They would do the word of God. He said, you will teach it to your children. Therefore, I'm going to put my blessing in you, in your seed. So now even when you pass away, your seed, it's a righteous seed, and I'm going to give that seed favor because of what you've done. That's what he's dealing with, because I love the fathers. All right, so he chose us even before we even came about, beloved. Let's keep going.
To drive out nations from before thee greater and mightier than thou art, to bring thee in, to give thee their inheritance, to give thee their land for an inheritance, as it is this day. Know therefore this day, and consider in thine heart, that Yahweh he is God in heaven above, and upon earth beneath, there is none else.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that nation, he wanted to do Egypt because what? He needed to find somebody that was greater and mightier than us. All right, yeah. You don't get credit for knocking out somebody that's smaller than you, right? You even know that on the streets. Now you knock out the big bully. Now your name gonna what? Ring bells. Everybody knew about us after that Egypt incident, right? Remember they were saying when we was going to, man, we heard about what your God did. They in lands, distance away, and say, man, we heard what your God did to Egypt. Woo! This is why the Most High did it. Okay, not is of course we're a small piece in this thing. This thing is about the glory of the Most High, beloved. Don't ever get that twisted. He just chose. That's what makes it special because he chose us. But don't think the juice is in us, beloved. The favor is from the Most High. Okay, he could have chosen anybody, but we thank God he chose us. Now, what are we going to do with that? That's the question. What are we going to do? He chose us. So there's no excuse why we shouldn't be able to do these things the Most High has given for us to do. Let's keep going, Brother Kai. Let's keep going. Will I go too far down?
Thou shalt keep therefore, Salaki, I lost my spot.
39. I'm sorry. I might be.
I'm reading off of my screen. God damn. Know therefore this day and consider it in thine heart that Yahweh he is God in heaven above and upon the earth beneath. There is none else.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt keep therefore his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee this day, that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days upon the earth, which Yahweh thy God giveth thee forever.
Mm-hmm. So this is what it does. It's a preserver. All right. The commandments that they are a preserver, they're a protection, all these beautiful things. Keep going.
Then Moses severed 3 cities on this side Jordan toward the sun rising, that the slayer might flee thither, which shall kill his neighbor unawares, and hated him not in time past, and that fleeing unto one of these cities he might live, namely Bezer in the wilderness in the plain country of the Reubenites, and Ramoth and Gilead of the Gadites, and Golan and Bashan of the Messonites.
Right. So remember, he said, remember we talked about the city of refuge. This is why I say sometimes they'll just like, where the heck, what did he talk about? Right. Remember we talk about the cities of refuge. When somebody kills somebody, they get to what? They'll get to run into that city of refuge. If they make it there, the people that was chasing them could not kill them there. Okay. But then they will have to wait their judgment because you get there, don't mean the judgment can't be against you. But if basically went in your favor, you can stay there. And if you leave that city before the high priest dies, and they catch you outside that city, that person can get their vengeance on you. Okay, so the city of refuge. Remember why they're making this point, because remember they're going to have that there, but also outside the city you had what? Reuben, I think yeah. Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh asked to be what? Outside the promised land. Remember, they're outside it. And they asked for that. He said, okay, I'll give it to you. I want y'all fight with your brothers. So he what? He divided cities in there because you might have an issue there, and bang, you can run there. Right? So you have that's all it's basically making a reference to. Let's keep going though, Brother Kai.
This is the law which Moses set before the children of Israel. These are the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments, which Moses spake unto the children of Israel after they came out of Egypt, on this side Jordan and the valley over against Beth Peor, and the land of Sihon, king of the Amorites, which dwelt at Heshbon, whom Moses and the children of Israel smote after they were come forth out of Egypt. As they, and they possessed his land and the land of Og, king of Bashan, 2 kings of the Amorites, which were on this side Jordan toward the sun rising, from Ariar, which is by the bank of the river Arnon, even unto the Mount Sion, which is Hermon, and all the plain on this side Jordan eastward, even unto the sea of the plain under the springs of Pisgah.
I love it. Anybody have anything from what we just read in chapter 4 of Deuteronomy? All right. But that's Deuteronomy chapter 4. It was a lengthy chapter. All right, it's a lengthy chapter. But we got through it. A lot of good stuff, beloved. And when we're talking about when you're starting to learn, beloved, it's good. We have to remember these things we get taught, because there's certain conversations and talking that you can what? Go back to these. That spirit gonna what? Bring back things into your remembrance. So we need to have something put in us to what? For the spirit to draw out of us. Okay. So even these things are very important with a lot of conversations. A lot of conversations you can just, if you just know some of these things, you can, stop the gainsayers or stop certain doctrines just from knowing some of these things. Okay. These are very pivotal. This is just foundational things that people need to understand and know. Okay. And from here, once again, we build upon it. But it's good to have this foundation because we want to funnel everything we learn. We got to funnel it these, uh, through these, definitely first couple of books. Okay. All right. If nobody got anything, we're going to end it there. All right. To our YouTube family, we say shalom. And again, I have a thumb, which means peace, and that we love you all.